Brachos Perik Beis Mishnah Gimel. This Mishnah is going to be a continuation of the Nyone Kavana and correct reading and reciting of Kriya Shema. Hakariya Shema v'lo yashmiel la'oznai. A person says Shema very quietly, and he wasn't able to hear what he himself said. He's Yotze his chiyuv. Rabbi Yossi Amar lo Yotze. Rabbi Yossi says that he was not mekayim the mitzvah properly, because the pasuk says Shema, that the Gemara says Hashmei la'oznacha mashata meitim mipecha. Your ears, Shema means that your ears should hear what you're saying out of your mouth. But the Tanna Kama darshans that Shema is b'chol lashon shata shemea, in any language that you understand, whether you want to say it in English or Russian, Chinese or Japanese, as long as you understand it, it's fine. Agav should know that Stam Rabbi Yossi in the Mishnah is Rabbi Yossi ben Chalafta, and over here the halacha is like the Tanna Kama, that if he says Shema and he doesn't hear what he says, he is Yotze. Obviously, b'diavad l'chatchila, a person has to say Shema loud enough that he should be able to hear. Kara, a person says Shema v'lo dikdik b'is yosea, he didn't pronounce the words properly, like he didn't separate between the letters, like al levavecha, he ran together. Al levavecha, like there was one lamed there, not two lameds, and as if it was one big word, or esev b'sadcha, and like these other things, and it sounds like it's one big word. So Rabbi Yossi says he's Yotze, his chiyuv of Kriya Shema. Rabbi Yehuda Amar lo Yotze. Rabbi Yehuda says he's not Yotze his chiyuv, and the halacha is like Rabbi Yossi. But l'chatchila, a person needs to be medactic in the oisis and needs to be careful that he shouldn't swallow them up. It shouldn't run one letter into the other or mispronounce the words. And the shvanos and the shvanochs and the pays and the fays and the bases and the vases, that will have to be pronounced properly, because Bichlal, when you're reading from the Torah, when you're saying, you also have to pronounce all the words properly. It's a good idea altogether, even when you're davening, when you're saying Tehillim, even when you're doing things that there's not necessarily a great chiyuv as much as there's a chiyuv of a deraisa to say Kriya Shema properly. It's always kedai to know how to read properly and know how to be medactic properly. Hakari l'mafreya, somebody who reads Shema out of order. It doesn't mean he reads the words backwards, but he reads the psukim out of order. He reads the psukim backwards. That he starts off saying the last pasuk, Uchsavtam amuzuzes beisecha b'sharecha, and then he reads the pasuk of Ukshartam l'isal yadecha v'yilutetavis beinenecha. So lo yotza. He's not yotzes chiv Kriya Shema. Why? So the Gemara explains, because the pasuk says v'hayu hadvarim ha'ela. V'hayu is b'haviyosam yeyu. You have to leave them the way they are in the Torah, meaning that although this guy has some interesting ideas when he's saying Kriya Shema, but he has to darshan it, he has to say the words, he has to say the psukim in the order that they are in the Torah. But somebody who says the parashas are out of order, that he says the third parasha first, or V'hayim Shemaya before Shema, he's Yotze his chiyuv. Why? Because in the Torah itself, they're out of order. We say Shema not in the order that the Torah wrote it, so therefore he's still Yotze. Obviously, he shouldn't do l'chatchila, but he is going to be Yotze. And what the Mishnah says earlier, that there's a seder of the parashas, that's obviously l'chatchila, but b'diavad, the seder, the order is not ma'akev, you can still be Yotze. Karavata, if a person was reading Shema and he made a mistake. What kind of mistake? Like he skipped a word, or he skipped a pasuk, yachzor l'makom shatah. He should go back and repeat the word or the pasuk that he skipped. The Gemara explains the case of Toa ben Perak lePerak. He knows he finished up a parasha. Let's say he says a Visharecha, and he doesn't know where, if it's a Visharecha from the parasha of Shema, or it's a Visharecha from the parasha of V'hayim Shemaya. So Yachzor lePerak Rishon, and he has to go back to the first hefsek, which is V'hayim Shemaya. Not the first parasha, but the first hefsek, which would be the last parasha that he started, most recent parasha that he started. That's how Rashi learns. The Rambam learns that he goes back to the beginning of Ve'ahavta es Hashem Elokecha. But let's say he made a mistake in the middle of a parak, that he knows which parasha he's holding in, but he doesn't know where in the parasha. So then he goes back to the beginning of that parak. Let's say he doesn't remember where he's holding, so he should just go back to the beginning of that parasha. But Toa ben Ksiva l'Ksiva, that he's not sure if it's Uchsavtam from the parasha of Shema, or Uchsavtam from V'hayim Shemaya, Yachzor l'Ksiva Rishayna, he should go back to Uchsavtam, the original Uchsavtam from the parasha of Shema. But if he had this suffix after he already said L'man Yirbu Yameichem, meaning he said and he's not sure if he said the Parsha Vayim Shemaya or not, he doesn't go back. Ein chayzer, because he's just going with the hergel of his lashon, and the halacha does not require him to go back.